Now, in November last year, in an interview with us, Satya Nadella told me that the latest course he had signed up for on Coursera was deep learning. I wasn't surprised. It's a highly recommended specialization to break into artificial intelligence. For a world that needs constant upskilling, retraining, and even reskilling that has been spoken about right here, education is clearly just a click away. From the most influential CEOs to a fresh grad, there's something in it for everyone, and it's just a click away. Please join me in welcoming the man who is out to change the way we learn, Mr. Jeff Maggioncalda, CEO Coursera, on changing education one click at a time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to share the stage with thought leaders and visionaries who I admire and respect. So I'd like to start by just thanking the Economic Times and Yes Bank for the opportunity. My trip to India this week has included visits to Mumbai and Bangalore and Delhi, and I'm continually struck by the vitality and the humanity which has always been the essence of India. And with our team in Delhi and India being our second largest market at Coursera, I feel very closely connected to the country. Coursera is a global platform, and we're dedicated to transforming lives through learning. We bring together 30 million individuals who come to Coursera to learn and to thrive. Over 150 of the top universities in the world, including Stanford and Duke and Harvard, Yale, Princeton, who partner with us to teach the world, and now over 900 companies and governments who work with Coursera to transform their talent in times of unprecedented change. And this gives us a pretty unique perspective on the trends that are shaping the way that jobs and skills and education might form going forward, and I'm honored to share some of those thoughts with you today. The future of work and the future of learning are converging. And they're converging because the world is changing so quickly due to globalization and technology. Data, artificial intelligence, automation, and social media are having a profound and accelerating impact on our lives. And these forces are changing the way we operate in business, they're changing the nature of jobs, and they're changing the skills that are needed to do those jobs. Now, the bad news is that this kind of change is going to create major dislocations for many people, and many jobs will be lost. In order to stay relevant in a changing economy, people will have to continue to learn and continue to upskill. And they're going to have to do this not once, but for the rest of their lives. Now, the good news is that this creates unprecedented opportunity for millions of people who never had these kinds of opportunities. And because of technology, the best education in the world is now available to everyone in the world. And that's true today, right now. And this opens up an unprecedented opportunity for India. As Prime Minister Modi noted at the NASSCOM conference on Monday, India now has the opportunity to become an advanced knowledge economy and to lead the way in jobs and skills associated with everything digital, from 3D printing to cloud computing. And I believe that the key to realizing this vision is innovating in education. But before we discuss how India might innovate in education in the future, let's go back 40 years and look at how India has innovated in the past. You see, one of the earliest experiments in using technology to create equal access to education happened right here in India. The India Space Research Organization, or ISRO, was relatively young at the time. In the early 70s, they were scoping out the potential to use satellites to help educate the population of India. And in 1975, they launched the Satellite Instructional Television Experiment, or SITE, which was hailed as one of the greatest sociological experiments of all time. They shot a satellite into the sky, and they beamed down instructional television to 2,400 villages across India. And remember, this was 40 years ago, when they didn't have electricity in many of these villages, let alone televisions. So they put in televisions and solar panels and batteries. In the first year, the program benefited around 200,000 students and 50,000 primary school science teachers. 43 years later, India is on the fast track to become a digital economy, but it faces a similar challenge. How do you scale high-quality education across a country so broad and diverse and create, in the meanwhile, an equal opportunity for all? As we've heard already tonight, India's current demographics present both a great opportunity and a great challenge. India today sits on an untapped gold mine in its talent. While the rest of the world is aging, India will be the youngest country by 2020, with an average age of just 29 years old. And by 2030, we'll have the largest working age population in the world, with over 950 million people. India's incredible demographic dividend, this young population, makes it the envy of the world. And this potential is waiting to be realized in a new world economy, where there's a tremendous shortage of skilled labor. The Manpower Group found that 40% of employers globally are finding it difficult to fill positions. And the gap between the rate of acceleration in technology and the rate of upskilling is actually increasing. Our enterprise customers in India tell us that this is a very real problem, and it's not just limited to finding new talent. Most Indian companies are seeing the skills gap widen within their own organizations, and we see this across all sectors, from IT to telecom to financial services to professional services. Technology is making many traditional skills less valuable and often obsolete. And the impact of technology on jobs will be more severe in some countries than others, particularly in India. McKinsey research shows that 51% of work activities in India could be automated using today's technology. And this is higher than every other major economy that they studied other than Japan. And it's happening at a time when over 10 million people in India are entering the job market every year. Now, technology will destroy some jobs, and it will create new jobs. And whether the balance favors job creation or job destruction really depends on India's ability to upskill its young workforce. India's demographic dividend could turn into a demographic disaster unless it can scale access to education and accelerate skills development throughout the country. With a population of 1.3 billion, the stakes are quite high indeed. The current spend on higher education in India is less than 1.5% of GDP, and this trails most developed countries. With many competing priorities for funding, delivery of education will require a new access paradigm that is cost-effective and well-suited to India's diversity. I'm reminded of India's telecom success story, where the country leapfrogged from landlines to mobile phones, and in the process transformed the lives of millions and the Indian economy. This new inflection point in education could afford a similar opportunity to drive India's economy. If India can leapfrog by delivering higher education online, it could be a game changer for young Indians and also for India's economy. And based on what we're seeing at Coursera, this is entirely feasible. New economy, new rules. The summit is well named and well timed. In the age of AI and automation, young Indians will need to adapt and become agile. They'll need to learn throughout their careers just to stay relevant. Developing competencies and reskilling will become a way of life, not a stage of life. And succeeding in this new economy won't be easy, but technology will make it possible. I believe online learning can provide the kind of breakthrough that India urgently needs. By being highly affordable, online education democratizes access to the world's best education for millions of people, including those in the most remote corners of the country. And for most Indians who don't have the luxury to put their lives on hold to study, online learning gives them the flexibility to learn while they work. Over the next few years, I see a majority of the learning in India moving online, and India will learn with the world. India is Coursera's fastest growing market and second in size only to the US. We had 60,000 new learners each month from India. And our data shows that 50% of India learners on Coursera are employed, which means that these folks are working and upskilling at the same time. They're taking classes from the best universities in the world on topics such as machine learning, data science, and business communications. Online classrooms have the potential to not only equal, but surpass the physical classroom experience. Even on-campus programs will have a substantial online component. Today, our degree students at Coursera collaborate in small cohorts in virtual classrooms. They interact with the best minds across the globe. Students learn with live video, advanced communication technology, and productivity applications that allow real-time, interactive, team-based collaboration. Today, an Indian student in Agra or Cochin can earn a degree from a top-ranked US or European program at a fraction of the cost and without quitting their job or moving their family. I expect they will soon be able to earn one from India's top-ranked programs as well. I believe India's top colleges can lead in online learning, offering made-in-India degrees that will be coveted around the world. India has built enduring world-class institutions like IISc, IITs, and IIMs. However, these institutions serve only a fraction of the students seeking to learn. Many millions more in India and around the world could be served if India's top institutions go online with global scale. Our experience at Coursera gives a good idea of what this might look like. The degree credentials earned on Coursera are identical to on-campus degrees. To give just one example, the University of Illinois works with Coursera to offer an online MBA program with the same high standards and rigor as the on-campus program. Graduates of the online degree programs are issued the same credentials from the university as in-person students, with no mention that it's an online degree. It's an MBA earned online. As we develop and scale degree programs from other top-ranked universities, especially in the US and Europe, it provides a model that can be used by top universities in India as well. Particularly for India, mobile will be a key to delivering online learning. Just as I've seen in Mexico, France, China, and Vietnam, young people across India are accessing their worlds through their phones. It's estimated that almost half of India's population will get connected to the internet through smartphones by 2020. Today, almost all of the 2,600 courses offered on Coursera can be taken with a mobile phone, and you can download these courses onto your phone with a Wi-Fi hotspot so you don't have to use your data plan. And about 50% of our degree learners are using their mobile phones to earn their master's degree online. And finally, a trend that we are clearly seeing is a collaboration between universities and industry. Many of you here today will play a role in changing India's education paradigm by offering broadly recognized credentials that fill a very real need in the job market. While universities continue to provide more durable, foundational knowledge, they are partnering with industry to add hands-on projects and applied skills to the learning experience. Google has done this with the launch of their IT Support Professional Certificate on Coursera just in January. Turns out many companies are struggling to fill IT jobs, and they're having trouble finding qualified talent. With no college degree, with no background in computer science, an individual can come on Coursera, take 6 courses, become certified as an IT support professional, and have direct access to job opportunities at many companies, including Google, Bank of America, Walmart, Infosys, and many others. In addition, some universities are planning to grant credit towards their degrees to individuals who have taken the Google IT certification. This model could be a great fit for India. I call it a gateway credential because it opens up technology careers to those most at risk of being left behind. If corporate India runs with this idea and creates other gateway credentials for tomorrow's jobs, it could benefit hundreds of thousands of workers in India and around the world. In closing, Prime Minister Modi summed up the tremendous opportunity ahead in his recent address at the World Economic Forum. He observed, "The youth of India are capable of contributing to the building of a $5 trillion economy by 2025. When innovation and entrepreneurship make them job givers and not just job seekers, you can imagine how many more paths will open up for them and for the country." I am inspired by India. For thousands of years, India has been a source of enlightenment and enlightened thinking for millions of people across almost every culture in the world. And I have no doubt that at this time of change and possibility, India will again lead the way and inspire us all. Thank you.